Hey guys, Alan Renton with Glaucoma Hope. So today is December 19th, 2016, day 34 of 100 videos, and yeah, that's it. So the 21-day reset, we completed it yesterday. So that's done and over with. So we're going to do the rest of the videos, or at least the ones from today moving forward for the time being, a little bit more personal, and talk a little bit more about how I'm personally feeling, and how it's this condition, glaucoma, and this protocol, how it's affecting me. You know, not just with the eyesight, but emotionally and all that kind of stuff. So we'll check in with the eyes really quickly, and then I want to talk about a little bit about what I was feeling when I ran out of the oils, you know, for that week, when I got it back, and then when I went blind a week later, right? So that was really fucked up, right? So I want to talk about that. We'll check in with the eyes first, though. So they're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty much the same as yesterday, you know. But one thing that I will note that is of note, that I completed the 21-day reset yesterday. So when it came time to take my oils last night, I didn't want to take them, right? It was really weird. And it's like a self-sabotaging thing that, you know, most people, including myself, have, right? So I think it might have been because, you know, I just did something good for myself. I completed a goal, that 21-day reset. So I had a chance, an opportunity to fuck it up by not taking my oils last night. And But I have clarity from the 21-day reset, so I was able to see that, and I just said, "Fuck that! You know, let's take the oils and just suck it up and move on," which is what I did. You know, thankfully, you know, because one of the good things about the 21-day reset, when I do it, it makes me proud of myself for completing something that's so important, and it makes me feel so good, and does so much good for my body, right? So, and it just starts off this beneficial domino effect in my life, to where I just want to complete more and more things and do good with more and more things in my life, right? So it's really, really cool that the effect that this thing has on me, and that's why I do it, right? So so that's really, really cool. So let's move that to the side, and let's talk a little bit about how I was feeling, you know, when I ran out of the oils, right? So for the past 2.5 years, you know, I discovered, you know, almost 3 years ago now, the oils, the Rick Simpson oil, to be specific, was the first one. And I found a source for it and everything. I researched, found a source, and I took it, and it worked, right? Like, it worked. And it was really, really cool. And it was like, man, I might be able to save my eyesight, because I had been looking for years. I mean, many, many years. And my optic nerve was staying good. But at some point, it's going to change, right? Because, you know, I have the high pressures all my life, right? And it did start to change, and it started to change. And they say that when you lose stuff, you're not going to get it back. And I still hadn't found a solution. And I was really worried that I found this oil, right? And I took that, and it worked, because you could tell it was working right away. Like, it either works or not right away, right? And so I was happy, and I took it, and then I lost the source about a year in for just 3 days, and then I was able to get it, and then happy, and for about another 1.5 years, and then about 8 weeks ago, I guess now, sometime in the beginning of November, so about 6 weeks ago, I ran out, and I sort of lost the source, right? And it was weird too, because like I had just started a business, and we have another business, and money was super tight too, and like it was really like you know, like hard to pay for the oil too, because it's not that expensive, but you know, we were just really tight, like super tight on money, right? So that was an issue, and so I started taking a little bit less of it, you know, just to let it stretch out a little more. But that doesn't really work. You know, you need to take a certain amount in order to get the effect. So I was instead of like stopping the glaucoma, when I started taking less, it was it just made it slowed down for the progression, but so I could feel my vision starting to go right, and I was like, ah, fuck, okay. And then I finally ran out, and then I didn't have another source of it. I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? And like within 3 days, I could feel my vision going, and by that 7th day, when I went to the gym, I felt this huge crowding, and crowding in on this side, right? Because that's how I feel it. I feel like a shadow hanging over me and just coming in and coming in and coming in. And on that day, it felt like it was like right there, right? And it was really weird. I was at the gym, and the lights in the gym are really bad for a glaucoma patient, right? At least in this particular gym that I go to. And so I couldn't even stand like being in there. It was like, whoa, like what's going on? Usually it's uncomfortable a little bit, but that day it was like I couldn't handle it, right? And people would walk by, and I wouldn't see them, and boom, all of a sudden they would appear, and it would startle me, right? It was like, what's going on? So I covered up my good eye, and it was like a fireworks show. It was like all like mostly white with these little little portions of like where I could see like color and stuff, but it was like sort of crazy, right? And I was like, holy shit. And so I cut my workout short, right? And I was like, I drove there, so I was like, fuck, I got to get home. And but when I got home, I was like, man, what the hell is going on? I was really worried, and I covered my eye, and all of a sudden it was like those holes that I was seeing like clear out of, they were gone, and it was like these little tiny pinholes, and the rest was white, just a bunch of these pinholes, and it was like light was flashing through, and it was like bam, 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 like this. They were just like going off like fireworks with my eyes open, right? And it felt weird, but I couldn't really notice it because the good eyes could see really, really well. But when I went like that, it was like bam, a fireworks show, and that was super uncomfortable. And it's like headache started, and fucking migraine, and like just crazy stuff crawling up here. I mean, it was painful, and it was really uncomfortable, and I was worried. It was like, wow, like my vision's, it's gone. I'm fucked, And I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? And I finally was able to get a hold of my friend that day that actually works in the cannabis industry, and he was like, hey dude, I work in that division of my company. I have some oils in my car as samples, can you meet me? I have to go buy a gift for my nephew, and he's my friend, so yeah, I went and met him at the store, and he gave me some stuff. He actually gave me this right here. There's a little his personal vape pen, and he put a fresh cartridge of the raw oil that they have for medicinal purposes, right? And gave me some the syringes with the oil in it and all that kind of stuff, and just hooked me up, right? Indica, sativa, whatever. Here, take this shit. Just gave it to me, right? And I didn't think the vape worked, and I did that, and I was like, I'll do anything, right, at that point, because I was nervous, I was worried, right, and I did that, and about 30 minutes later, I started that fireworks show, like, stopped, and things started to clear up a little bit, right, almost like too quickly, right, it was like wow, and by the end of that day, when I got home, I took some oil on my tongue and swallowed it down. By the end of that day, I could see like really good through that eye. And then I was like, wow, this is cool. So the next day, I take the oil again, and I was like, hey, called my friend up, hey, this is working badass, let me get some more of that shit, hook it up, whatever. And so I ordered some more and everything, and my vision was just got clearer and clearer in both eyes, right? And it was like I was seeing this crispness, like wow, I didn't know I could see this good, right? I didn't know it was possible, and for me, and because my I had like a haze in front of me before, and I was like, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, fucking clear. Like my right eye was clear. Like the vision opened up even a little bit, and it was like crystal clear, like all of it. No globules, no little fractals, no little slivers of anything, nothing. It was like clear. Like every time I checked it, like bam, clear, bam, clear. It was like, fuck, this is crazy. This is awesome. But then all of a sudden, on that 7th or 8th day, I forget which one it was, but one of those, I woke up, and usually when I wake up, I'll cover my good eye and look up with my bad eye and look at my ceiling fan and see how much of it I could see. And that's sort of a test, from when I first wake up, and just something I do, right? But I couldn't see shit when I did that on that day, on that morning. I was like, what the hell? So I went over to the mirror, and went like that. I didn't see me. I just saw a sea of white. And I was like, holy shit, right? What the hell's going on? And then I'm walking around. I'm like, oh, my vision's coming back. Whatever, I could see good. But it was just my good eye could see. And I bam, like, oh man. And so at that point, I was worried, right? It went from crystal clear that day before to like just bam, white, like a sea of white with little shimmers of white. So it'd be like flat white, and then like maybe a little shimmer, like there'd be a shine, but there was no colors, no shadows, just different, either flat white or shimmering white. I was like, fuck, what the hell's that? And so you sort of get into this denial kind of thing, saying, okay, seems like I'm blind, but maybe I'm not blind. Maybe let's check again. So and we wait a couple hours and see if something comes back. Let me take a nap and see if something comes back. And you're just like fucking scared, right? And like if you like put danger in front of me, if you put people threatening me in front of me, or moving forward with business, I could do all that stuff. I could step past the fear, but the blindness, I was worried, right? Because I'm 50 and, I'm in really good health the rest of the way. I'm going to live a long time, and it's a long time to be blind, right? I was scared, and I stayed blind that whole fucking day. Even like 1 in the morning, I was fucking like, it's not coming back, man. And then finally, I started to get, this is documented in the other videos. I started to see shadows a little bit, and then as the days progressed after that, then I slowly started to get the vision back. And it's not back to where it was when it was that crystal clear. It's in like a transitional stage, like we had mentioned, where it's clear and sometimes slightly a little tiny bit fuzzy, and then we're clear with like 80-90% clear with little slivers of haziness or even little tiny blind spots, right? So so we're still into that. I'm hoping it'll get back to that clear, because it was like that before, right before it went to blindness. And so I know it's possible, right? But where it is right now, I could see myself. I could see the rest of the screen. I have an email over to the side that I'm crafting. I could read that. I could see pretty good. I'm happy with if I could stay like this for the rest of my life and not go backwards. Let's do it. If it can get better, then let's do that. So I will continue to do my protocols, and I'm doing therapeutic doses for myself, and I'm going to continue to eat well. I'm going to do the 21-day reset again in about a month, about 6 weeks or so, with a big group of people, and I'm going to do the more intense version, so I could really get down into that healing state, and just give myself the best opportunity for my eyes to get as good as they can, and then just work on maintaining that, because I want to see, I don't want to go blind, you know, knowing about the oils is one thing, having them is another, you know, and, you know, so worked out where I have like supplies coming out my ass now. You know, I mean, I have probably like 15 different suppliers at least that produce quality oil. And so I'm not going to run out. You know, I'm working hard on my business, so I make plenty of money so I could buy the shit. You know, I'm doing all this stuff, and then I'm taking the oil. You know, I'm taking it every day, and then I'm backing it up with the Ayurvedic herbs. I'm backing it up with my soups and my style of eating to keep me in vibrant health and stuff like that, so I can have a fighting chance to keep this eyesight, right? So that's it for today. You know, just wanted to give you a little bit of background on that, so we have a baseline moving forward about, you know, how I was personally feeling for that. You know, it was fucking scary, you know, and now I'm very, very hopeful. And that's where the title for this series of videos came from, Glaucoma Hope, because you know, I had lost hope for a little bit, and then I was able to get it back, and now I have it, and I want to keep it. All right, so Al Marenton with Glaucoma Hope. Thank you, and have a beautiful day. Peace.